Okay, let's get to Ja Morant and the New Orleans Pelicans, man. This was a wild game Ja Morant and the Grizzlies taking on the New Orleans Pelicans in a rematch. These two teams had just faced off just last week in Ja's return to the NBA after the 25-game suspension. And, this one went back and forth. The Pelicans held on to a fourth quarter lead, but the Grizzlies would come roaring back. And then the end of this game was crazy because you had Ja Morant goes to the line, gets fouled. No. Attacks. Ja Morant attacks the rim. They call a foul. And this is with 1.4 seconds left. The Pelicans get the play reviewed, and they rescind it. So now you have a jump ball, center court, 1.4 seconds left. Grizzlies down by 1. They win the tap, call timeout with 0.4 seconds left. And on the ensuing inbound possession, they try to throw an alley over the top to Triple J, who gets fouled, makes the first one, misses the second one. The game goes into overtime, and the Grizzlies come away with this one, man. 116 to 115. Ja Morant scores 31 points. You had Desmond Bane killing it once again with 27, including a 3 in the final minute regulation that helped Memphis erase a 15-point second half deficit. And then Bane also made the clinching free throw to give the Grizzlies a 4-point lead with 4 seconds left in OT. You had Triple J with 19. Grizzlies 4-0, man. And Andrew, what you think about this one?
Yeah, I remember a few years back when the Grizzlies used to win when Ja Morant was out. They used to question Ja's impact. I think we could say at this point, there's no questioning.
I hated that conversation.
Yeah, that was such a bad conversation. I guess we can see right now there's no questioning his impact. Obviously what everybody always talks about with Ja is the eye-popping athleticism. But what really sticks out to me is just the IQ, the game managing, the passing, the feel for the game. And on top of that, he has the generational athleticism and the grit that you talked about that the Pistons lack, CP. He's the entire package. He's a generational talent, and we see the impact he's having. So it's looking like he could take this team on his back with Desmond Bane playing really well, Jaren Jackson Jr. being solid, and take this team to the playoffs.
I hated that conversation, Andrew, just because, when
crazy.
When he got suspended, I said, for about a quarter of the season, you're going to miss Ja. That's going to be like major. They're like, well, Tyus Jones, can manage the ship. I'm like, come on.
Let's see what they do in the playoffs without Ja. Let's see that, right?
Yeah, please. And I know Tyus had some solid run. How's that working out for the Wizards, by the way? Right. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, look, man, this is why I think this team can come back and get into playing category and make some noise, because you look at what Ja does for this team. He just opens everything out, opens everything up because of his downhill nature. Like, there's no one on that team outside of Ja that can relentlessly get downhill and be as crafty of a finisher around the rim as him. And that's just a game changer, because if you can't stop somebody like that, it opens up stuff for Desmond Bane, Jared Jackson, who I say thank you last night for helping me win some money on a certain app to get, a nice little small wager, get some $70. So I'm happy about that. So thank you, Triple J, for helping me out. Thank you for going to overtime, because you were not going to help me out otherwise. But look, Ja Morant, major, absolutely major. Like, you could see he's like that level of like Anthony Edwards, as is to the Minnesota Timberwolves. When he is missing, you see how rough this team is to watch. Now that he is back, this team is going to surge. I expect it to make the play-in, and I expect them to make some noise, man. I really do. This team is going to be a tough out.
Team's going to be tough, man. And obviously, we knew how talented he was, but you see how much he's missed when he comes back and just has his team in their spots, in order, and just allows everybody to play their role. And I remember when he was a rookie, and there was a lot of questions as to whether his finishing ability would be impacted by his size, going in and finishing over NBA bigs and NBA defenses and NBA physicality. How is he going to handle that? And man, you just seeing the way that he attacks the basket with ease, and then the way that he's setting his teammates up. the cross-court passes, a lot of risky passes that someone wouldn't make. I mean, he's throwing bullets over there. He's finding Bane. He's finding Zaire Williams and David Roddy and these guys. And, this is just a completely different team. It's a transformed team. And when you have Ja, you have Desmond Bane, who's been cooking, Triple J, and you add in Marcus Smart to that mix, right? Now you're seeing the impact of Marcus Smart on this team, being that Grizzlies vet, being that championship competitor, like a guy that, again, when we talk about what the Pistons need, a guy that's been there, he's played in those big moments. He can be an extension of the coach. A guy that guys can respect when he speaks.
Yep.
His impact now that he's healthy. I think, their bench is a little bit sus. But right now, they've got that four that is going to compete every night. They have the shooting with Bane, the athleticism with Triple J and Ja, and the finishing talent of a Ja. They're in a good spot, man. 10-19 right now, but they're cooking. They're cooking 4 straight win, man.
I never got that, like, he won't be able to finish over NBA bigs. First of all, there's just a lot more spacing in the NBA, right? Like, and that's what it's conducive for guys who, Al said, go downhill and put pressure on the rim. I always thought this guy would be great since college, not to toot my own horn.
Oh yeah, man. Incredible.
He was electric.
Yeah, he was. He was different.
Yeah.
I remember when it was before I started got into content creating. I just watched the NCAA tournament, and it was like, I know the Knicks were, we got to take for Zion. I watched the NCAA tournament, and I saw Ja from Murray State just going off, and I was like, I don't know about that. I think I like this guy more. I was
energy, right? The
Yeah.
energy he had, yeah.
Ferocious. Like, dude, it is, I don't even know how to describe it. It's more than an energizer bunny because he's just aggressive. Like, you have to, he puts defenses like on their heels 24/7.
Right.
Like, there is nothing, you can't take a possession off, because if you do, he's going to figure out and just get to the rim.
How do you guys feel about the AI comps?
AI is a 3-0 scorer.
Yeah.
Ja's not a full 3-0 scorer.
Ja's like a pure point guard with elite athleticism on top of it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think for Ja, even though some may dislike, I think the comparison to Russell Westbrook is more favorable than AI, just because AI, that man was just creative. All 3 levels.
I like Ja's feel for the game better than Russ's, even though Russ was at a very elite. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Maybe even like a Derek, actually, who's on the team with him, Derrick Rose. That's another guy who you can actually compare him to, because the athleticism, just aggressive downhill nature. I don't know. That's that. I think they can make the play-in tournament, make some noise. They're 10-19 now. Andrew, I already talked about this with you last week, but I still want your opinion. Like, if this team was to make the play-in, what team is falling out right now? I said the Pelicans. You got the Pelicans, Rockets, Lakers, Warriors right now in that play-in category. Out of those 4 teams, who's fallen?
I would agree with you with the Pelicans. I just don't know how that team fits when Zion isn't being like the version of Zion we saw last season.
Right.
They can kind of like defy the fit of the team by just pure talent, and I don't see that so far this season.
I think Pelicans are a good pick and a good choice to choke. I think they're a reliable option. I think the Lakers could be there as well.
Wow.
Do you CP?
Injury. That's all I'm saying. Because if they lose one of LeBron or AD and they don't make a trade, like they're saying that the Zach LaVine stuff is doubtful. They have their eyes on DeJounte Murray, which I would love, but we'll see what happens there. If they don't make a move and one of these guys goes down, I'm not so sure the Lakers can recover there. Especially without either LeBron or AD, man. I think those guys are way too important. Yes, I like the way that Austin Reeves is playing, and they have some solid role players, but I think it could be them. I mean, right now they're how many games ahead of the Grizz, or ahead in terms of the play-in? They are one game ahead.
There's so many, as deep as the West is, so many of the teams have question marks, and it just leads me to believe that Denver's just going to take it again.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure if Denver's going to take it. And then you saw OKC beat Minnesota last night. So OKC's making OKC's still right there.
They've been getting busy.
They're getting busy.
You guys got them as outside contenders right now? Nah.
I don't know, because I haven't seen them in a series yet. Right? Different things. It's different when
Talk to CP after tonight's game.
Oh, that's
the post game.
I don't know.
Series tough. I gotta see him series battle tested.
Talk to CP after tonight's post game. If the Knicks win, it won't. You won't get maybe the full array of how this OKC team is, but ask him if they lose.
SGA in the playoffs, man, that's gonna be tough, bro.
That's gonna be tough.
Because like you want, as NBA teams, you want your shot diet to be a lot of free throws, a lot of layups, and a lot of threes, right? But when the game is on the line, you got to be able to get into that mid range and make shots. And SGA is a killer in that area.
And Chet, the Chet factor.
Yeah. Chet's been great, man. I mean, he just filled every gap that team needed.
Absolutely. So I think I won't count Memphis out, man. I won't count Memphis out. I mean, they're only 4.5 out from Golden State. Golden State could slide if they get a key injury here or there. We'll see what happens when Draymond comes back. The young players are starting to contribute. They're looking a little bit better.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I don't see the Rockets sliding just because I think Udoka is just too much of just hit between him and Dylan Brooks. I feel like
Sengun is getting busy.
Sengun too. Yeah.
Baby Jokic.
He's getting busy out there.
But I just feel like that personality of Udoka, especially when you have someone like Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, two guys who are like gritty competitors. There's no way you just see how they play. They don't even need to score 20, but they just figure out a way to will their way to victory. I just don't see them out of all those four teams in the play-in. I actually don't see them dropping.
Let's see. Of those teams, I mean, if you go to strength of schedule for now, and you take strength of schedule with a grain of salt, it can always change. But right now, Golden State and Houston in that playing group, are set to have the easiest schedule left of that group. Golden State, 23rd out of 30. Houston, 25 out of 30 in terms of strength of schedule. Memphis, 7th. So that's interesting. Lakers, 15th. Again, that's just for now. Things can always change. It's very early. But for now, they've still got a schedule ahead. I mean, we take a look at Memphis's next couple at Denver tomorrow, Thursday, at the Clippers. Clippers are playing well. You got the Kings. You have the Spurs, Toronto, at Lakers, at Phoenix, at Dallas. That's January 5th, 7th, and 9th.
Who would you guys have coming out to what
Lakers home Knicks? Yeah, got
who would be the two teams you would have? Like, I think Denver would probably be in all of ours, one of the two, right? Like they'd be top 2 in probably all of our lists. But who would be that other team that you think has the best chance to win in the West?
Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Minnesota. Yeah. I think defensively, I mean, that carries throughout all of playoffs. But the other thing too is that I look at Ant-Man. I just think when he needs to get rolling, he can get rolling. And from 1 through 5, even their bench, like they got the height, they got the wingspan, they got the grit. I think they're another team. Like they give Denver a run for their money.
In full health versus the Lakers, you think they win a 7-game series?
Timberwolves?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Ooh. I'm not ready to do that. Full health?
Full health, both teams.
No. I'm going to say no.
I know the LeBron James factor, but I think
I'm not, full health. I'm going Bron and AD.
I think for me, it's more so everybody else. Something is Reeves going to show up? If you got D'Lo, is D'Lo going to show up? Is Rui going to show up? Because I like the way LeBron's playing this season. I love it, but it's just a lot, man. It's a lot. I mean, even against the Pacers in that in-season tournament, I was like, "Oh,
you know what?" Flixie Flex in the chat had another one. I think I put the Clips. I think I put the Clips in playoff contention at full health over the Wolves right now.
Yeah, I mean, full health Kawhi's different.
I'm going with the Clips.
He's different.
I'm going with the Clips, full health.
On your Reeves point, Al, I think that I have no numbers on this, but if LeBron is fully engaged, I feel like Reeves is fully activated too. I don't know.
Always. Yeah. But the thing about the Lakers that I like is that, with all the wings that they have now, LeBron doesn't have to do too much on the defensive end. You know what I'm saying?
Quarterback from behind, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, because you have Vanderbilt, you can throw at guys. You have Cam, you can throw at guys. You have Taurean Prince, you can throw at guys. So, that Kawhi Leonard, Paul George matchup, LeBron might not even have to go there in crunch time because you're going to have those other guys do the dirty work. So, that could keep you fresh as well on the offensive end to do your thing.
It feels a little cavish, right? Like you have JR, Shump, to like kind of do the dirty work for you.
Yeah. So I think at full health, I wouldn't necessarily count them out, but I say if they don't, if you get a setback for LeBron and AD, and he had a scary one Christmas Day against Jaylen Brown, you get a setback one of those guys. I think it definitely hurts the Lakers if they don't make a move.
What AD are you getting? That's the big thing for the Lakers, man. I don't know which. That's why it's like it's so difficult. I mean, he had a good series against the Nuggets last year in the Western Conference Finals. I'm just like, still, there are too many games for my liking for a guy who you could say it could be a top 10 guy easily when he's on. It's just too many games where I'm like, is he engaged today? Is he on his A game? Because if not, like I'm going with the Timberwolves over the Lakers. The Clips, I can't buy James Harden, man. I can't buy James Harden.
Didn't he just drop 28 last night?
Yo, that's what I'm saying, man.
Oh, come on.
Yo, I told you, don't James sleep Harden's on the Clips.
Yo, cue up the ISO Harden videos, man.
Oh my God.
Don't sleep on the Clips, man. Do not sleep on the Clips. I'm telling you.
Wake me up when they're in the Western Conference Finals.
I think they'll be there, man.